Hi there, welcome to Loving Our Country's Landmarks. This is a technology based unit on developing a greater appreciation of our nation's history through researching landmarks. This is a unit that was developed for an academic gifted class, though it can be changed, modified, and used in a regular education or even a special education classroom. So, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to navigate our Weebly site. The first thing that you're going to click on here is menu. And when you click on that, you're going to see different buttons that will connect you to the unit plan, the lesson plan for day one, lots of websites and resources, and then ultimately contact information for me. So let's go ahead and click on unit plan so you can see a little bit of the overview of the expectations here. Like I said, this is a technology-based unit, and what we're going to do is actually require students to use an interactive web quest to research information and then create a Prezi presentation to share what they found with their classmates. So if you scroll through here on our unit plan, you'll see the content standards for Louisiana. It has both standards for social studies and writing, as I'm going to ask that there be some persuasive pieces. Also, you'll see the approximate time needed. This is a 5-day unit in my classroom. I don't know that every teacher would use the same time frame, so I am kind of leaving this up to be very broad, but this is how it's done in my class. We start out basic with social studies introductions, and then we open it up to writing, where we actually conduct our research and our presentation in the writing block each day. One thing that I would like to point out is that there is an expectation for a basic knowledge of Google Chrome, Symbaloo, and Prezi. So I would hope that if you would want to use this in your classroom, you would let your students have some exposure to these websites first. Materials and resources needed here, pretty basic: Internet Explorer, computers, projection system, iPads or tablets if you have them. Just makes the research process go a little quicker. And there are some printed materials that can be used. They don't have to be used. In my class, there are 5 or 6 books that I've used. There are lots of websites that I've used. And modification wise, this, like I said, has been written for gifted students. This is a whole class of gifted. There's no enrichment pullout. So this is a little bit more accelerated. If you choose to do this for a regular education class, cut things out, make it smaller. Let's go to our lesson plan for day one. Like I said before, this is just kind of a sample basic framework for you. Our objective for the first day is to simply learn about what United States landmarks are, and we're going to visit some websites to expose students to those landmarks. So the first thing you do is give a conversation. Just have a brief conversation with your class, guide them through basically finding out what they currently know about landmarks. So for me, I ask, have any of you taken vacations to a place where you visited a building, maybe you saw a statue, visited a museum, and just kind of allow the conversation to go where it leads. And then sometimes I'll do some scaffolding techniques where I ask them about things such as monuments, or maybe have you ever visited something historical? So with that conversation, my hope is to lead them into a discussion about landmarks. Maybe some of them have seen them and they didn't realize it. The best introductory book that I found that I've used is called Oh Say Can You See? And it's a book that discusses American symbols, landmarks, and words that are important to the concept of symbolism in the United States, landmarks, but it puts it in basic elementary grade terms. Then I use my Promethean board to navigate students through the websites that are listed on the resources link, and we'll go and view that resource link in a bit. And this gives students virtual tours and pictures of the landmarks in the unit. My recommendation is that you shouldn't spend more than 2 to 3 minutes viewing each site, as this is not researching or teaching them about specifics of the landmark. You're just viewing them. The research portion comes in from the students later in the week. So once the website browsing is finished, my recommendation here is that you'll have students take out a piece of paper and rank the landmarks that they've seen that day from 1 to 5, 1 being the one that they want to visit most, and ranking all the way down to the one that they wouldn't want to visit. And my expectation is that they'll give a reason why. So, for example, if they really want to see the Statue of Liberty because they want to overlook Ellis Island, that would be a good reason why they want to visit. Then, after the free write, you should expose students to the final assignment. So, going and showing them what the web quest looks like, showing them what a Prezi would look like, and all of that is actually in a button here at the top. If you click on Sample Prezi, it will direct you to a Prezi that I've developed that's just the basics of what I want them to see. Um, I want them to be creative and have fun with this, but I want to show them my expectations so that they can't say that they didn't understand. So this is an overview. This is a Statue of Liberty Prezi. I just chose this one because it's the one that I'm most interested in. So I'm walking them through. I want a photograph of the actual landmark. I want some quick facts, the facts that interest them most. I want kind of something intriguing, maybe something that caught them off guard. So here I put, did you know that the Statue of Liberty is made out of copper and that weather actually turned it green? Then I want information about actually visiting that place. So here I've listed prices. I've listed information about a guided tour. And then lastly, I want the 5 reasons that they want to visit. This is where this becomes both a factual presentation and a persuasive presentation. I want to know what they want to see. I want to know the reasons that they've deduced it would be a good place to see. And this is kind of where some of that gifted work comes in. So let's go back to the Weebly. This is my sample Prezi that I would show the students. The rubric is here for your information. It's not something that I would really expose the students to right away. And then here's the WebQuest template. This WebQuest is for you to use however you choose. In my classroom, students will be broken into groups and they will research each of the landmarks using this template piece of paper, and they will research it with a partner. That way it's not done solely independently and they don't miss small pieces of information. So I'll just show you briefly what I'm asking. Obviously, what's the name of the landmark? Significance. Why do you feel that it's important? So my hope would be maybe once they viewed Mount Rushmore, they'd say that they felt it was significant because it honored 4 powerful presidents or 4 leaders in our nation. Where is it? When was it built? What is it made of? Visiting information. So prices, exhibits, things they see when they visit there. And then lastly, what is one reason that you would like to visit this landmark? So that's something that they'll fill out multiple times. You'll need multiple copies of this form. But like I said, it'll be done in groups. Now let's go take a look at the resources available for this action plan. So if you click here, this is to me the most valuable piece. Assemblu is a website that I would like for your students to have been exposed to, but it gives you safe and very specific lesson elements or website search elements that your students can use, and they can only use those. So if you see here, I have KidRex, which is a kid-friendly research engine. It's like Google, but it's got lots and lots of filters that are keeping things safe for your students. I have a link here to Prezi where the students will make their presentation. I have a link to Dropbox, Gmail, Google Drive. I'm not sure which you'd like to use to have your students save information, but I also have Encyclopedia Britannica, National Geographic. This is an American Landmarks website called Kidport, and they can actually click on each of the each of the landmarks have a website devoted to them. So that was something that I wanted to include. But my students will ultimately go through Symbaloo to conduct their research. That's how my students will get their resources. Now, if we go back to our website here, you'll see a link to websites for each of the landmarks that I've elected to use in this. So if you click here, let's click on Niagara Falls. I visited there this summer, so I'm very interested in it. If you see here, there's pictures, and if you scroll down, there are facts, location information, lots of stuff that this web quest is requiring, but it also gives you facts that maybe the students would be interested in learning, how the facts were, how the falls were formed. This one here is kind of fun to me. 1/5 of all the fresh water in the world lies in the Great Lakes, which is where the Niagara Falls flows from. So it's just interesting information that your students will find valuable. And there's a website here for each of them. So you can also click here when you're exposing your students to the websites and giving them those tours. This is where I click and show them on that first day. So let's go back to our website. If you are having any questions, if you want to say thank you, if you want to say, help, I need to know how to use this, go ahead and enter in your information here, submit a question to me, and I'll be able to answer it. And that is it for Loving Our Country's Landmarks. I really think that this is a great, great project that integrates technology with traditional learning style. So if you are looking for a way to spice up some of your teaching, this might be the way to do it. And let's say you enjoy it, you like teaching this unit, maybe you could develop your own based on some of the things that you see here.